the Executive Director.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Vice Chair Hinojosa and committee members. My name is Danny Carroll. I'm the Executive Director of the Texas State Board of Pharmacy. With me is Julie Spear, our board president, and behind me we have staff who can help act as a resource. We appreciate the opportunity to speak to you about the agency and our legislative appropriations request. First of all, we would like to thank you for the budgetary increases given to the agency in the previous legislative session. We value this committee's support and continued interest in protecting the public health of the citizens of Texas. TSBP oversees a robust regulatory framework with 117 FTEs managing the licensing and regulation of over 130,000 licensees across the state, including approximately 8,460 pharmacies, 44,400 pharmacists and pharmacist interns, and 77,800 pharmacy technicians and pharmacy technician trainees. In addition, the agency runs the prescription monitoring program, which in 2024 conducted approximately 240 million searches and has roughly 203,000 users across the state. We would like to highlight the following exceptional item requests that are not included in the base bill. First, the board is requesting 11 new FTEs and funding to support the agency's growth. To manage workload effectively, additional staffing is necessary in key areas of information technology, prescription monitoring program, operations, and licensing. These FTEs include a programmer 4 and 5, a network specialist 4, accountant 7, licensing program supervisor 7, epidemiologist 4, web administrator 3, 2 program specialist 3s, information specialist 5, and a database administrator 3. Second, the board is requesting funding to replace 8 vehicles. These 8 vehicles being replaced are combustion engine vehicles averaging 10 years or older and currently close to or over 100,000 miles. Next, the board is requesting funding to update Adobe licenses and purchase Tableau licenses. The agency needs Tableau licenses for additional staff and to upgrade Adobe 2017 licenses, which are expired. By purchasing the licenses and not opting to choose subscription service licenses, the agency will save approximately $8,000 per year over a 6-year span. The board is also requesting funding for targeted equity and merit increases. The inability to have competitive salaries will continue to make certain positions difficult to fill and cost the agency employees who move on to other state agencies or private sector positions where they are better compensated. Additionally, the board would like to provide increases based on performance to incentivize high-performing staff.
The board also requests the executive director's salary be increased to assist in retention and to make the position competitive compared to comparable regulatory agency heads. The board's executive director is legally mandated to be a Texas licensed pharmacist, which would be a doctor of pharmacy. The current salary for this position makes it difficult to compete with open market positions of specialty licensed executive officers. It also makes it difficult to set a course for succession planning due to a potentially limited applicant pool. Next, the board is requesting funding for staff attendance and staff training. Staff attendance at job-related conferences and training provides opportunities to expedite the learning process and development of employees, as well as providing opportunities for networking and collaboration. We have 2 rider requests. Cybersecurity is first. The board is requesting the addition of a rider in order to efficiently respond to ongoing cyber attacks across the state. In the last year alone, major cyber attacks have affected healthcare systems in our state, including UT Health East Texas, Del Seton Medical Centers here in Austin, and Change Healthcare, which experts estimate might have affected over 100 million Americans. We believe this rider is necessary to prepare for future cyber attacks, especially if the number and scale of the attacks increases in the coming years. Next, the board is requesting unexpended balance authority for the prescription monitoring program. The agency would use these funds for unplanned items and expenses such as new features or enhancements, unforeseen costs of assisting in expedited pad processing such as mailing or overtime, and increased consumables. Thank you for your time, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Senator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of questions here. Your vehicles that you're going to buy, They're going to be electric?
No, sir.
Thank you. The next question is, the service that the pharmacists provide with the authority was given to them a while back to monitor what they're handing out to make sure that you didn't have people doctor shopping and overdoing it with opioids. It serves a really good purpose. But we found that during COVID, that some pharmacists took it upon themselves to decide that the patient there did not need a drug prescribed by their doctor, prescription, particularly ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, and would refuse to fill the prescription. Can you tell me what can we do? I don't want to damage the ability to stop the bad drugs, but when you have someone that comes in, where the pharmacist there decides to insert themselves between the patient and the doctor and make a decision, what were your suggestions on how we can better handle that?
So when we look at the corresponding responsibility of the pharmacist and the physician, it should be a conversation between the physician and the pharmacist as to what the medication's being used for and how it should be used. There are often times when a medication or a prescription is brought in for a medication that there's an error or there could be a drug interaction. And so it's really the pharmacist's professional judgment and then a conversation with the healthcare team as to the appropriateness of the medication.
I very, very much understand there can be legitimate error in the prescription, things of that nature, to call and talk to the doctor. But these were not situations, and there were many of them, because I got many a phone call. There was no attempt to talk to the doctor about it. They just looked at the prescription and said, this is for ivermectin, I'm not going to fill it. And so I don't think that's right. But currently what they used was the authority they have under what gives them with the opioids. Was the answer we got when we looked into it was that bill gave them the authority to reject any prescription. I don't necessarily agree with that interpretation, but it happened, and it caused a lot of grief with people. And I'm just asking, since you happen to be here and you're in the business, if there's some way you could work with us and find a way to not have that happen in the future. And I'm not looking for an answer today. I bring this up as I consider it to be an important issue that government needs to solve in protecting the rights of individuals. That's our primary job, is to protect individual rights. And there we have a gross violation of individual rights inappropriately. And at your convenience, would love to sit with you, talk with you about how we might be able to address that in an equitable way.
We would definitely be happy to sit.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hall. Senator West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question in terms of the pharmacy profession itself. Where are we in terms of the need for additional pharmacists in the state of Texas?
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
Can you please close your mic, get the mic closer?
Sorry.
Thank you.
That is a great question. So we do know that in recent years, really post-COVID, we have seen a decrease in the number of individuals that are applying for pharmacy schools. It is estimated that there will be a shortage in coming years. It's difficult to say where it's going to go, but we are seeing that trends to start.
In terms of AI, will that impact the profession as it relates to pharmacists?
So it's very difficult to say where AI will go. AI can be used in a lot of different ways to gather information in. But the thing that our rules say is that you still have to have professional judgment at the end. And so it's not going to replace an individual or a pharmacist. We do need to use technology as much as possible. And I think that's where you see a lot of central fill coming in and, instances where you can use some automation.
I'd be very interested in getting some sort of analysis within the next week or so about the pharmacy profession, where we're going, the need for it on a national and also more specific on a statewide basis.
We'd be happy to
The
provide
other
that.
piece is I'm being told that because of a lot of online pharmaceuticals and things of that nature, the role of the pharmacist is changing. And so to the extent that you have information concerning that, I'd appreciate you providing it to me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for your testimony. There are no more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Executive Council of Physical Therapy and Occupational Therapy Examiners, WB presentation on budget. Kelsey Sims.